Hi, this is my Internet Use Violation, Threats Over the World Wide Web, my case study for Module 14, EDL 850. When identifying and looking at the problem, some of the things we know, number one, that the case takes place in an affluent area. Dr. Smith, he's a veteran principal, has received honors for Principal of the Year a couple times. It also includes Miss Tate, who's a second-year teacher. She's highly educated, lacking in the areas of teacher instruction, it appears, but she's in the beginning of her second year. She teaches upper level sciences, so I think one of them was like zoology and biology, or not even biology, it was a couple others. In the past year, her parents had, students had complained, saying that she had caused, it was too demanding, caused a lot of stress, really affected students' overall GPA. They were getting lower grades than they probably have in the past. Principal also discussed the techniques with the teacher and also about how to build relationships, but at that time there were no changes in her classroom interactions. Over a long weekend, Ms. Tate had discovered there was a derogatory and highly offensive media account dedicated just to her and how she was teaching, and one of the statements said, "Who wants Ms. Tate to disappear?" She took that very extreme and felt that her life was being threatened. She immediately contacted the principal, shared the information with him, and after discussing it, she said, "Oh, I think it was the student William," not knowing just because he had given her some hard times, that kind of thing. Dr. Smith printed off the data and then planned to talk with her more about it on Monday when she came in, and potentially the accused student to investigate. What do we need to know? So still in the problem identifications. First off, number one, I want to know if there's a school resource officer or even a district police officer being on the World Wide Web versus something that's happening in school. I feel like it opens the door in other areas, even though it still can, if it's a student, it can still impede into the educational learning, and so it can be disciplined at school if it's found that it's a student at this current student at school. Anything like this, other things, anything that's happened prior, what is the district policy on digital citizenship, who created the website, and this was a question I had, if they're still a student, maybe the previous year, maybe it's a former student that it's continuing to go on. Second thing is the teacher on evaluation. She should be, it's her second year. What steps or actions are currently in place for her, since she seems to not be following the techniques and or improving her classroom performance. What resources does she have of the teacher to help improve her teaching, and also what is she doing to help build relationships with her students? Does she have a district mentor? Are there any other teachers in the district who teach her same classroom, her same classes, that can help guide her and mentor her along the way as well? I really kind of think there are two problems. The first problem is kind of a short term. It has to do with the social media account that was dedicated, how to handle it appropriately in regards to finding, number one, who created it, and just getting it shut down. And if it's a school-age student, students will receive appropriate consequences for their action from the school. But the long-term problem, I felt like, is really helping an inexperienced teacher really create a positive interaction with her students and allow her to have those high expectations and still get the higher level learning that she's wanting. So the plan of action, I feel this is pretty wordy, but number one, I would not, without having any information, I would not accuse a student the next day. I would do a little bit more homework before we do anything. The other thing, I would share it with the school officer or ask for legal guidance. Maybe we have someone in the district higher up can point us in the right direction. Police might encourage to file a report. That's what we've had in the past with parents of things who have complained. We would say, let's file a police report against it. Report to social media moderators, potentially shut it down as it's threatening. At this point, I feel like until we know more information, it's really out of our hands until we actually find out who created the account. If it is discovered it's a student, it can go to automatic offers referral, and we go into our guidelines that we have implemented. But until then, we can't do anything until we know more. Communicate firsthand. Once we do find out if it is a student or even a former student, I think as the building principal, I'd communicate firsthand with families and family or families that have been involved. As the teacher, she seemed very shaken, very distraught. I'd seek out guidance support from the district as their HR personnel, just to kind of give her, to reassure her that she is safe, and so forth. Classroom support, mentorship in the areas of the teaching. Utilize district supports. Is there another science curriculum leader? And then maybe, if they have not done already, they should have created a plan to help build the areas of student relationships, communication, and then overall classroom instruction. Other things, appropriate strategies. I would definitely follow up with Miss Tate the next day, make sure she feels safe in our working environment, continue to check in with her randomly, take actions if and when concrete information is discovered, be a mentor for Miss Tate or find someone she can connect with and learn from consistently, and that might be an IRT or someone that she has a scheduled meeting to kind of check in with her to see how things are going, help monitor, and not to just encourage but drop a plan. I think even with evaluation, she seems to be wavering. They should have drawn up a plan after her first year if they have not done so. Main goals again would be building relationships, communication, and then teaching techniques. See here. What is best for students? Number one, support the teacher by listening to concerns and help establish that safe and work environment. But if it was student-created site, potentially move that student out of our class if she does feel that threat. And then maybe we've talked about like even reworking a student schedule to kind of avoid that teacher if that teacher feels that unnerved about it. The teacher should have been on evaluation, follow the planner guidelines to help teachers establish that positive relationships, use multiple measurements for teacher performance and student outcomes, and provide evidence, based off evidence, to help her to drive her instruction. Facilitate and use appropriate content-based learning materials and learning strategies. Make sure they're on target, what she's teaching and how she's teaching is based off of the standard that we're trying to attain. Resolution. So the teacher will move forward from the incident once it's been investigated and the site is discontinued. I feel like we just have to kind of get things resolved and then to help her move forward. If the students, consequence will be set and all parties will move forward, hopefully. The teacher will focus on creating a community of learners and focus and really redirect her for what is best for all students. And be sure to focus her curriculum and standards and improving her instructional practices. What was I thinking? Well, first thing I was thinking is this happens, unfortunately, more than that you hear about. We are in a digital age. This is constantly happening. As adults, we take any type of social media post we can't take them lightly. We have to look at them if they are threatening. We do need to act by investigating for check validity and then eliminate situations like this. Feeling I first felt like this incident could have been avoided by supporting the teacher to help with her student relationships and his educational techniques, but however, in our world, this is how kids sometimes handle things. It's not right, but it just makes sure that we need to make sure we're engaged in helping them become good digital citizens. And this honestly can happen to any teacher, any student, anytime. And then value. I value the idea of that communication to build those positive relationships and improving our knowledge as educators, importance of investing, again, in the digital citizenships with our students and our families. I think that's huge. What are resolved? Well, I think we just need to continue the teacher's practices to help eliminate student stress and for best practice, and what guidance or plans to help the teacher grow in the classroom. And then really kind of looking at future online incidents and how it really makes an impact in the learning environment. And again, this is happening to a teacher. This could happen to students anytime. So we need to make sure we're staying on top of that. And again, I think that's where that continued conversation with students and like digital citizenship and just doing the right thing online. How did the education lead in a building for integrity? Knowledge promotes every student by acting with integrity. Okay, first, modeling that positive family and student interaction by personally contacting the family if it's applicable, working collaboratively with the teacher to feel safe and helping her find a solution to the problem. I was thankful that she felt trusted within the principal to call immediately. Monitor instructional practices and provide assistance for the teacher, any teacher, when needed, if you see them floundering or struggling. Fairness. I think these are some really key things for fairness. There needs to be implemented and followed district and school guidelines for teacher evaluation. Implement and follow teacher areas of discipline and management, and create a school atmosphere that helps monitor and ensure equitable practices for all students. And then the last part is, ethical manner. Important to follow that democratic policy when investigating situations like that. It's not fair to assume or accuse without concrete information. Follow legal guidelines when online bullying occurs. If it needs to be contacting authorities, then that needs to happen. The educational leader is appropriately informed, the teacher, of her teaching inefficiency, and then it's drawn up a plan to help fix it. That's it. All right. Thank you for listening.